Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Here's a starter for you. Can you work out 23 times 56? Can you find a quarter of 20 for me? Can you do 5 divided by a third and 5 divided by 2/3? Pause the video and have a go at those questions in your light blue books now, please. Right, let's go through the answers. So the first one, you might have done a column or a grid. Either or is absolutely fine. I'm going to do a column method. 3 times 6 gives me 18. 2 times 6 gives me 12, plus 1 gives me 13. I need to put a 0 in before I look at my tens. 3 times 5 gives me 15. 2 times 5 gives me 10, plus 1 gives me 11. Now I've got 138 plus 1,150, which will give me 8, 8, 2, 1. So the correct answer is 1, 2, 8, 8. For the next question, I asked you to find 1 quarter of 20. To do this, I need to do 20 divided by 4, which would give me 5. For the next question, I was asking for 5 divided by 1/3. What method did we cover yesterday, Macy Jane, to do division of fractions? Great, keep, flip, change. Let's go through it. So we keep our 5 as it is. We flip our fraction over, so 1/3 becomes 3 over 1. We change our sign to a multiply. I'm going to write the 5 as 5 over 1 so I don't get confused. 5 times 3 on the top gives me 15. 1 times 1 just gives me 1 on the bottom. 15 over 1 is just 15. For the next one, we're going to apply the same process. So Ellen, what do I need to do? Great, keep my 5 as it is. Flip my second fraction over so it becomes 3 over 2. And change my sign to give me multiply. Write my 5 as 5 over 1. Katie, what's 5 times 3? 15, very wise. And Ava, what's 1 times 2? 2, awesome. So we've got 15 over 2. You might have written that as 7.5. Happy either way, both are correct. Okay, Year 7, I'm going to model what 3/5 would look like. Here's 3/5. I've taken a bar, I've split it into 5 equal parts, and to model 3/5, I've coloured in 3 of them. I'm now going to model 3/5 divided by 3. Here's my 3/5. I want to divide this by 3. To do this, I want to split it into 3 equal parts. So I'm going to divide it here, and I'm going to divide it here. So I've now got 1, 2, 3 parts, and each of those parts is 1/5. Let's go through that again. I've got 3/5 that I've modelled. I've divided it by 3 by splitting it into 3 equal parts, my pink bit. Each of those pink bits is worth 1/5. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, pause the video, model 5/7 for me. Hopefully you'll have drawn something like this. We've got a bar with 7 pieces and you'll have coloured in 5 of them. That's my 5/7. Can you model 5/7 divided by 5 for me in your light blue books? Let's go through it. Here was my 5/7. This time I've divided it into 5 equal pieces. Each of those equal pieces is just 1/7. So 5/7 divided by 5 is 1/7. And again, can you model 4/7 for me, Year 7, in your light blue books, please? Hopefully you'll have drawn something like this, a bar with 7 pieces. This time we're colouring in 4 of them. Using your model, can you show me 4/7 divided by 2, please? Right, this time we've got our 4/7, but I want to divide it into 2 parts. So what's each of these 2 parts going to be worth this time, Angel? 2/7, brilliant. When I've divided 4/7 by 2, I get 2 lots of 2/7. Okay, Year 7. Daniel uses 12/15 of a roll of wrapping paper to wrap 4 equal-sized presents. I've drawn the bar for you, and I've shown you what 12/15 looks like. What fraction of the roll of wrapping paper does each present use if he's splitting it into 4 equal-sized presents? Pause the video and have a go at this question in your light blue books now, please. Okay, let's go through it. I need to split my 12/15 into 4 equal pieces. I'm going to split it here. Here's 1. I'm going to split it here. Here's 2. Here gives me 3. And here gives me 4. Each of those 4 pieces is worth 1, 2, 3/15, and I can simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 3 to give me 1/5. Let's check. 3/15 or 1/5. I'm going to go through one more example. There's an alternative model we can use. We could use a circle instead of a bar, both work in exactly the same way. Here I've got 4/7 and I want to divide it by 2. I've drawn a circle, I split it into 7 equal pieces, and to show 4/7 I need to colour in 4 of those pieces. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. I want to split that into 2 equal parts. Let's do that now. I'm going to split it here. And here. So each of those parts is going to be worth 1 2/7. So 4/7 divided by 2 is just 2/7. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, please pause the video for 10 minutes and have a go at these questions for me, doing a bit of modelling using the circle for me for the first questions. Then I've drawn the bar for you to help you out do the modelling for the second question, and there's an extension question at the bottom. Pause the video for 10 minutes and have a go at these now, please. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. And an extension question if you're feeling confident. Don't worry if you're not so confident, please feel free to skip this. However, if you want to challenge yourselves, pause the video for 5 minutes and work out the value of each of these symbols. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. The triangle was 27, the heart was 6, the lightning bolt was 11, the smiley face was 48, the star was 42, and the moon was 7. Okay, can you now, in your light blue books, model 1/2 divided by 4 for me? Pause the video for a few minutes, have a little think. Okay, let's have a think together. If I had 1, if all of this was worth 1, and I had a half, I'd have 2 lots of a half in 1, and I want to divide that half into 4 equal pieces. And I want to know how much is each of these parts going to be worth. Now that's hard to tell using the bar model, so we're going to need a new method. And to introduce this, mini whiteboards or light blue books, can you find 6 divided by 2 for me, and can you find 6 divided by 1? Pause the video, write down your answers now. Okay, so 6 divided by 2 would give me 3, and 6 divided by 1 gives me 6. So pause the video. What's 6 over 2 and what's 6 over 1? Okay, 6 over 2 just means exactly the same thing as 6 divided by 2. So that's also equal to 3. And 6 over 1 is the same as 6 divided by 1. So that's also equal to 6. So we can write 6 as 6 over 1. And we did this earlier when we were doing multiplying fractions. A quick recap of keep, flip, change. This is the same process we're going to use today. I'll go through an example, then you're going to do an example in your light blue books for me. I've got 2 divided by 3/5. I keep my first number, I flip my second fraction over, and I change my sign to a multiply. I can write 2 as 2 over 1. I've now got 2 times 5, which gives me 10 on the top, and a 3 on the bottom. I could write that as 3 1/3 if I so wished. Over to you, Year 7, light blue books. What's 3 divided by 4/5? Pause the video, have a go. Right, let's use keep, flip, change. I've got 3, flip my second fraction over. I'm multiplying this time. 3 times 5 gives me 15. 1 times 4 gives me 4. So this will give me 3 and 3/4. So how about now? This time I've got the fraction at the beginning and the whole number afterwards. Carrying on underneath your dark blue, in your dark blue books, underneath the title, dividing fractions by integers for me this time, please. So write the title, dividing fractions by integers. Underneath you can write keep, flip, change again if you wanted a quick reminder. And then pens down, eyes on me. I'm going to do an example and then you're going to do an example. So here's my example. I've got a 1/5 divided by 2. This time I'm going to keep my first fraction. How else can I write the number 2, Felix? I could write it as 2 over 1. Great. Let's use that. I've kept my first fraction as a 1/5. I'm going to flip my second fraction over this time. It was 2 over 1, so it's now going to become 1 over 2. And I'm going to change my sign to a multiply. Multiplying my numerators, 1 times 1 gives me 1, and 5 times 2 gives me 10. So I've kept my first fraction, I've flipped my second one over by writing it as 2 over 1 to start with, and changed my sign. Over to you, Year 7, in your dark blue books, underneath your title, dividing fractions by integers. Can you have a go at this example for me? Pause the video, off you go. Right, let's approach it in the same way. I'm going to write the 5 as 5 over 1. So this is going to give me 1/2. Keep the first fraction. Flip the second one over to give me 1 over 5. Change my sign to a multiply. On the top, I've got 1 times 1, which is 1. On the bottom, I've got 2 times 5, which gives me 10. So the correct answer was 1/10. You might have noticed it was exactly the same answer as mine. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, please pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and have a go at these 5 questions for me. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. I'm going to go through an example where we haven't got a unit fraction this time. So back into our dark blue books, I'm going to go through an example and then you've got an example to do. Here's mine. I've got 3/5 divided by 2. I'm going to start by writing 2 as 2 over 1. I keep my first fraction, 3/5. I flip my second fraction over to give me 1 over 2. And I change my sign to a multiply. I've now got 3 times 1 on the top, which is 3. And 5 times 2 on the bottom, which is 10. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, here's one for you to try. Right, let's go through the answer. I keep my first fraction, 4/5. My 3 over 1 becomes 1 over 3. I change my sign to a multiply. I've now got 4 times 1, which gives me 4 on the top, and 5 times 3, which gives me 15 on the bottom. Please make sure you've got this example in your dark blue books for me. And then in your light blue books for me, please pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and have a go at these questions for me. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. I've simplified my fractions as necessary. If you're feeling confident, have a go at this extension question for me. Pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes. Off you go. What's the value of each of those symbols? And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. And finally, Year 7, pause the video for 10 minutes and work your way through these questions. Remember to write the 3 as 3 over 1 each time and use your KFC. In your light blue books, pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes. Off you go. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. And that's the end of today's lesson. Please head on over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket. Thanks very much for listening and have a lovely day. Goodbye.